What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Murder and Coffee. My name's Danielle, and this is a show where I pretty much just talk a bunch of nonsense about random true crime shows that have literally, or even cases that have literally stuck with me, or that I found interesting, because I have a morbid curiosity about random shit that I probably shouldn't. As I've mentioned numerous times before, I'm a huge fan of the mafia. Not of the mafia, but the history and those that were involved. Because to me, that's when true crime started to come out more. We read more about their cases. So-and-so was arrested for racketeering, that sort of shit. So, what I did today is, I didn't opt for it today. But I chose today's episode on Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. So, I think what I'm going to do is once a month, I'm going to do a story on a mobster. Just because I fucking can. Why not? It's my show. I can do what I want. And drink as much coffee as I want. So, alright, Bugsy Siegel. Born February 28th, 1906 in Brooklyn, New York. Nicknames were Bugsy, Bugs, and Benny. He passed away June 20th, 1947 in Beverly Hills, California. His associates were Meyer Lansky, Charlie Lucky Luciano, Murder Incorporated, George Raft, Virginia Hill, and Mickey Cohen. Siegel was the son of Jewish immigrants, which I thought was pretty freaking cool. I'm not going to lie. My family likes to joke that because we have Jewish ancestry on one side of my family, that I become more fascinated with that side. But no, it's just, it was something you didn't hear about back then. Just saying, you had, the normal fucking stereotypes and shit. I'll tell you what, they lived up to them. Sorry, my computer is not wanting to cooperate. What is this shit? Hold on a second. I swear. You go to copy a picture and you end up with ads and shit. Alright, I'm back in business. Alright, let's see here. Where was I? Train of thought. Come on, Danielle. Oh, so, anyways, I had nothing to do with that. So, going back to where I was, because apparently my computer hates me today. Sorry, y'all. So, Siegel was raised in a crime-ridden section of Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Williamsburg was where Irish and Italian gangs were prominent. As a young man, he reportedly extorted protection money from pushcart peddlers on the other side of the East River in New York City's Lower East Side, where in 1918 he befriended Meyer Lansky, another tough Jewish kid, with whom he established the Bugs and Meyer gang. I should really learn not to chug coffee. I'm going to end up belching one day in the middle of this, and I'm just going to laugh, and I'm going to tell my husband to keep it in, because I can. Fellow gang members named Siegel Bugsy in reference to his notoriously quick and violent temper. He was as crazy as a bedbug, reported PBS in its documentary Las Vegas, An Unconventional History. So I was watching Making the Mafia or something like that. I don't remember what it was called. But it was on the Mafia. And A&E put it out. It is amazing. Rise and fall of this generation. Like this era's class. It was amazing. You learned so much. During the 1920s, Mafia kingpin Charles Lucky Luciano and several other Italian gangsters organized themselves into a national syndicate. Nicknamed Bugsy for his volatile nature, Siegel became a prominent player in this newly established group of criminals, with a goal of killing off many of New York's veteran gangsters. Siegel was one of 4 hitmen hired to execute Sicilian mobster Joe the Boss Masseria in 1931. 1937, Siegel relocated his bootlegging and gambling rackets to the West Coast. Settling in California, he set up gambling dens and offshore gambling ships, while also consolidating the already existing prostitution, narcotics, and bookmaking rackets. Moving his wife and children out with him, he had 2 daughters, by the way. One passed away in 2017. Siegel maintained an extravagant lifestyle in Beverly Hills, where he bought a palatial estate, frequented parties, and rubbed elbows with Hollywood's moguls and starlets. The young Siegel flaunted his newfound wealth by wearing expensive clothes and frequenting high-class nightclubs. By 1931, he was rich enough to buy an apartment in Manhattan's Waldorf Astoria Towers. Insane. The young gangster loathed the nickname and supposedly, is not a word, people. Supposedly, I fat-fingered, I apologize, threatened anyone who used it. My friends call me Ben, he once said. Strangers call me Mr. Siegel. And guys I don't like call me Bugsy, but not to my face. So, his reputation as a celebrity gangster reached new heights in 1938, when he joined a band of Hollywood aristocrats on a bizarre schooner trip to the seas off the coast of Costa Rica. Lured by reports of buried treasure, Siegel and his fellow passengers sailed for remote Cocos Island and spent several days digging, drilling, and even dynamiting hillsides in a fruitless search for it. The harebrained treasure hunt came up empty-handed, and the group's ship later had to be towed to Mexico for repairs after it was ravaged in a storm and left adrift. News reporters pounced on the hell ship story. The hell ship story after Siegel returned to California, with some alleging that the voyage had involved a mutiny by the crew, or that it had been a cover for a drug smuggling. I can't talk. Oh, for crying out loud. Smuggling or gun running operation. Guys, I promise I'll get my act together. I just need like 3 more cups of coffee. I've already had like 1.5 Red Bulls. Siegel was arrested on suspicion of everything from possession of narcotics and firearms to murder and rape. But he was only found guilty of 2 minor offenses, a 1930 charge of gambling in vagrancy and a 1944 charge of placing bets illegally on a horse race. In both cases, he walked free after paying a fine. Siegel's most serious brush with the law came in 1941 when he was arrested for the murder of an underworld figure named Harry Greenberg. He spent time in jail, but the charges were dropped after a key state's witness died under mysterious circumstances. Siegel remained a suspected criminal kingpin, however, and was later the subject of an extensive surveillance by the FBI in the years before his death. So, by far the strangest chapter in Siegel's career unfolded in 1939 when he partnered with a Hollywood socialite named Countess Dorothy DeFrasso in a scheme to peddle arms to the fascist Italian government. According to historian Larry Gregg, the deal centered on a newfangled explosive called atomite, which was supposedly more powerful than dynamite. Siegel and the Countess hoped to secure a contract to sell it to dictator Benito Mussolini. But their plan went up in smoke after the atomite failed to impress during a demonstration. Before they left Rome, the pair reportedly crossed paths with Adolf Hitler's second-in-command, Hermann Göring. He was in town for an audience with Mussolini. Siegel, who was Jewish, would later quip that he wished he had assassinated the high-ranking Nazi when he had the chance. 1946, Siegel tried to turn from mobster to real estate mogul by taking over the stalled construction on a flashy Las Vegas hotel and casino known as the Flamingo. With financial backing from old pal Myra Lansky and several other underworld figures, he eventually burned through $6 million, turning the Flamingo into one of the most lavish properties on the fledgling Las Vegas Strip. The bloated project lost money during its first few months in operation, but business leader picked up in the months before Siegel's murder in June of 1947, and the Flamingo became the mafia's first major foothold in Las Vegas. Popular legends and fictional portrayals have since characterized Siegel as a visionary who invented modern Las Vegas. But while he may have added a dose of glitz and glamour to Sin City, there were already several casinos and hotels in operation by the time he arrived. Gotta love laptops, right, everybody? So on the evening of June 20th, 1947, Siegel was reading a newspaper at his girlfriend's Beverly Hills home when a gunman fired 9 shots through the window with a .30 carbine. Siegel was hit by 4 slugs, one of which knocked an eye out of its socket, and died instantly. It was a classic gangland hit, but despite a media circus and a massive police investigation, the precise motive for the killing has never been confirmed. A lot of researchers speculate that Siegel, his criminal associates were fed up with his soaring coasts of the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, while others say he was suspected of skimming money from the construction budget. Other theories include a mob struggle over a horse racing wire service, which he controlled, or even that Siegel was embroiled in a love triangle with his girlfriend and another gangster. The identity of the shooter is also cloaked in mystery. Mob figures Frankie Carbo and Eddie Canizzaro are among the leading suspects, but the case remains open to this day. So, nobody knows who killed him. I'm gonna go with it was definitely, yeah. Anyways, his wealth carried him further in California than his criminal reputation had on the East Coast. He was able to buy a large home in swank Beverly Hills, to frequent parties of the Hollywood elite, and to maintain friendships with movie stars. His close friends include George Raft, an actor and dancer who was born in New York City of immigrant parents and who associated with mobsters as he was growing up. Raft, who had moved to Hollywood in 1929 and became famous appearing in gangster movies, apparently served as a significant interlocutor between Siegel and other Hollywood personalities. Raft also served as a character witness during one of Siegel's criminal trials. In the late 1930s, Siegel began to date actress Virginia Hill. They were a striking couple, known as much for their volatile natures as for the glamorous looks. In 1945, Siegel, with Hill at his side, took over construction of a hotel and casino in Las Vegas, which we know as the Flamingo. So the original budget for the Flamingo was $1.2 million. Construction costs soared to $6 million, enraging the mobster financiers. So another theory on his death is that he was targeted by Virginia Hill's brother because of a history of domestic confrontations between the couple. Another is that Mo Sedway, one of 3 Lansky associates who took over the Flamingo, was involved in a love triangle into which Siegel stumbled. He was shot multiple times, including 2 fatal head wounds. Still unsolved today. So, yeah. God, I love researching this shit. And just so you guys know, you can actually find their documents from the FBI online at the FBI vault. I'll post it down below. It's actually really dope. I'm like super stoked that I found it. It took me long enough. So yeah, that right there, my friends, was Bugsy Siegel. If you haven't checked out the podcast Hunting Warhead, do it. My buddy Morgan at work told me all about it, and I listened to it all in 2.5 days. Like, there's 6 episodes, and it's really hard subject matter, and I'm impressed I even fucking made it through it, dude. Like, it was fucking, oh. Yeah, as a mom, I was disgusted. But check that out. I've been listening to a lot of Dateline. Right now it's the Music Box episode. I like that one. What else? That's pretty much it. Things are gonna get a little hectic. Just so you all know, because my work schedule is changing for a month. So if I'm late on posts, just know that they will be coming out, and I'm going to try to make sure they're out on time. But I'm not going to make you guys a promise and not be able to keep it. So there's that. Also, I am going to check out the autobiography of Bugsy. Might go down and purchase it. I haven't decided yet. It's either that or the Bundy book. It's gonna be a really difficult one. But yeah, no, that's all I've got for today, guys. I'm saving Meyer Lansky for another episode because there's just so much on Meyer. But Bugsy, you can only find so much on. But Meyer Lansky, that's a whole nother story. Anyways, please remember, comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook. And remember, I have episodes out every Tuesday and Friday, everybody. And you don't want to miss Cult Tuesday. It's going to be fucking epic. Mwah. Thanks, guys.